everyone, I'm Els. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you have seen me before. Today I'm going to do the mid-year book freakout tag, and this is the first tag I've ever done twice, which is super exciting. I did it last year when I'd only just created my YouTube channel, so that's quite exciting. But I thought I'd start off with the sort of update on my reading. So far I've read 114 books, 194 if you count the 80 Little Black Classics that I read at the beginning of the year, which is crazy, but I feel like it would be more sensible not to count those, so I've read 114 books so far, which I'm happy with. I haven't recorded the amount I've read before 2020 last year, so I don't know really how it compares to other years. I know that I've read a little bit more than last year so far, because altogether I think I read around 160 books overall the whole year, so yeah, I think I'm a little bit further ahead than I was last year. And I've counted all the books on my shelves that I haven't read, and that's actually gone down, despite me buying lots and lots. I've got 84 unread books on my shelves, both here, here and here. Yes, I've got 3 shelves and I'm using one to hold my camera. But yeah, I'm proud of that, because I had around 113 at around just after my birthday, Christmas time, so I've been working my way through them, buying lots more, but working my way through them, so I'm actually quite happy with that. Anyways, on to the actual questions. I get out my phone so that I can answer them. Okay, first question is the best book that you've read so far. The best book I read so far, I might have to borrow it from my sister's shelves because she has a physical copy of this. I read the ebook on the library app, so let me see if I can steal it from my sister for a sec. Never mind, the book's at my mum's work. But it's A Place Called Perfect by Helena Duggan, and I absolutely loved it. It's a middle grade, sort of, I'd say it's a kind of low fantasy, kind of a little bit sci-fi. I think it leans more towards sci-fi than fantasy, but it does have more fantasy vibes, but more sci-fi topics, if that makes sense. It's about this girl who comes to a new town called Perfect with her parents, but the town isn't quite as perfect as the name suggests due to some mysterious goings on, and it's amazing. I just really love this book, and yeah, it reignited my love for middle grade books. Next question is the best sequel that you've read. At first I was between 2, but I decided to go for Shadow Black by Sebastian de Castell. I listened to the audiobook of this, so I can't hold it up again. But it's a sequel in the Spellcaster series, where we follow this boy who is a spellcaster. He's been separated from his people. I don't want to spoil much, so I'm not going to explain how. And he goes on some adventures with some friends. Basically, he goes on these adventures with his 2 friends. One of them is a very sassy squirrel cat, who I absolutely adore. And the other one is a traveller. She's one of the fictional people of the Argosy, and they've got a very interesting kind of society that revolves around different cards, which is really fun. And they're also being chased, so they have to hide from people, and it's just a really fun fantasy book, and I really enjoyed it, so that's the best sequel. The next question was a new release I have to read, and I have not been keeping on track with new releases very well, except via TikTok, and as we all know, they recommend the same few books over and over, so I'm not sure if this one counts, but I've been waiting for the paperback version to come out for a book, and it will come out about midway through July. That's The Dark Tide by Alicia Desinska. Sorry, I just messed up the surname really badly. But it's meant to be a sapphic kind of story about a witch and the person who is like sacrificing themselves to the witch for different things and It's just, yeah, I really want to read that, although I'm not sure it counts as a new release because the hardbacks have been out for about a year now. Is there anything that's not come out yet that I'm interested in? I'm not quite sure. I know the author of The Henna Wars recently wrote a new book that lots of people are really loving, so I might want to read that too, and that's come out recently, so maybe that counts. I think it's A Guide to Fake Dating, I think that's the title, so yeah, that's the what I want to read that's just been released. Next question. Ooh, most anticipated read. Let's go into my shelves. Aha. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I watched the first episode of the BBC series adaptation and thought, I can't watch the rest of this before reading the book. It's set in a university setting, so dark academia vibes, and that'll be really exciting because I'm going to uni too. And it's about witches and vampires and demons, and it just seems like perfect for me. It seems like a great book that I'd absolutely love. And there's biggest disappointment. Do I have a copy of this somewhere? Found it. The Last Man by Mary Shelley. I really enjoyed Frankenstein, so I thought, what if I'll enjoy some of other works that Mary Shelley has written? But I did not enjoy this book as much. It's seen as, well, advertised as an apocalyptic story. The title, The Last Man, makes it seem like he's the last person there, but it's sort of about a declining society, and I didn't find it interesting personally. I mean, if I analysed it, I'd probably find it interesting, but just for reading for pleasure, not really what I was expecting it to be, so that was quite disappointing for me. Biggest surprise, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I thought this would just be an okay read. I absolutely loved it and bought quite a few other books in the series because of it. I don't know why I didn't read this when I was younger. I just assumed because it was very hyped, that I would be disappointed with it, like I was disappointed when I read Harry Potter when I was younger and didn't enjoy it. But I really did enjoy Percy Jackson. I don't know why I didn't read it earlier. The next one is a debut / new to me author. This author is not a debut, but she is new to me, and that's Alice Osman. I recently binge read pretty much the entirety of all of Heartstopper that's been published up until this point. And I'm currently partway through the ebook for Solitaire, so that's an author I've been reading a lot of and is new to me this year. My newest favourite character is, that's the next question by the way, the newest favourite character, Nina from Six of Crows. I absolutely love the romance between Nina and Matthias. I know loads of people really don't like him. I don't know why I do, I shouldn't, but I don't know. It might just be like the witch hunter trope. Next question is a book that made you cry. This is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I fell in love with this book. It is now my favourite book at the moment. And it made me cry when there was a sad situation near the end. I won't say what, otherwise I will spoil it for you, and I really want you to read it. It's the first book in the Mistborn trilogy, which is a fantasy that centres around allomancy, which is a power that comes from ingesting different metals. And if you can ingest multiple kinds of metals, then you're called a Mistborn, hence the name of the trilogy. Next, a book that made you happy. This book, for me, was The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. I read the ebook version of this, and I know that book isn't very happy, but I grew up on a series called Once Upon a Time, which essentially mixes together different fairy tale storylines and makes them all connected. This book did a very similar thing, using scientists from late Victorian sci-fi literature, so mixed together the story of Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Frankenstein, and came up with other characters that linked those together, and I thought it was incredibly interesting. There was also Sherlock in it. It can't be a Victorian story mixing together different characters if there isn't Sherlock, because he was incredibly famous in that time. And it made me happy because I was familiar with the characters, and I love it when different stories are intermingled and put together. Next question is the most beautiful book I've bought or received. I bought The Winter's Promise by Christelle Davos, and it's absolutely stunning. It's a floating castle. And it's blue and it's gorgeous and it's got the title on a waving sort of banner, and it's absolutely stunning. And I've been eyeing up this book for a very, very long time, pretty much as soon as I've seen it out on the shelves. I have wanted it so badly, and then I decided I'm going to get it, so I have got it. I haven't read it yet, but it's about a sort of world. It's a French story originally, so I think it's translated, which is super interesting. And if you know my love of Victor Hugo, I may be really getting into French literature. I don't know. He's pretty much the only French writer I've read translations of, so who knows, this might throw me deeper into the rabbit hole of French literature, hopefully. And the last question on here is books I need to read by the end of the year. Now, I've got a plan to finish all of the unread books on my bookshelves by the end of the year. That is 84 books. I've read 114 so far, and it's just under halfway through the year, so I can do it. I have the capacity to read that much. Question is, will I actually read the books that I bought, or will I just read library books and buy new books? Who knows? But that's all that I've got for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, comment down below some, I don't know, book related things. How many books have you read this year so far? Have you read any? Because I know most people won't have done, because it's been quite stressful and worrying with the lockdown easing. So yeah, I want to know about you. How much have you read? What do you think of different books? Things like that. Okay, I'll hopefully see you again for another video soon. Bye!